What's up everyone, Terraquake here, and welcome to the next series here on the channel. It has been a little while though, over a week. If you missed the community post I made and stuff, we had some problems with the computer, so I meant to start this series last weekend, but that had to get delayed a little bit. But you know, it was some things going wrong with the interior of the computer, but we got it fixed. So we're good, and now we are beginning the Pokemon White walkthrough. So it's pretty cool because, you know, if you couldn't tell on the channel, we're going in chronological order of when the Pokemon games came out. And we're just coming off of Pokemon Heart Gold, which is my favorite Pokemon game. And now we're going to Pokemon Black and White, which are probably like my second favorite. I don't know, it's pretty close with like Diamond and Pearl too, but yeah, I am super pumped to jump into this series, Gen 5. It is, you know, it gets mixed opinions. Sometimes people don't like it because it did not have any of the older Pokemon in the main storyline or anything, and, you know, some people just don't like things about it, but I love these games, so I'm super pumped to jump right in for our, 7th walkthrough here on the channel. So here we go. As soon as we load up a new game, we're gonna see Professor Juniper, and she'll send out a, I think Minchina, right? Yeah, this little guy, this little normal type of mouse. But yeah, Professor Juniper is the first female Pokemon professor, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And this is just the typical part where you are going to tell a little bit about yourself. Of course, I'm a boy. And you already know we're gonna go with the name TQ. Not enough spaces for Terraquake. It's pretty unfortunate, but it's fine. I messed with the abbreviation, you know? Alright, so then she is going to tell us about our friends, and these will be our two rivals. You can call them rivals, but they're, you know, more like friends. I mean, they're nice to us, which kind of sucks, but, you know, I guess we gotta have friends, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the one on the left is Charon and Bianca is on the right. So, Charon is kind of more about Pokemon battling and becoming the best. Bianca kind of just wants to have fun. And yeah, so you have two rivals in this game, which I think is the first time that's happened as well. Definitely a lot of firsts for Pokemon Black and White. And it is currently spring, of course, towards the beginning of May as this series starts. So yeah, of course it's going to be spring. Well, I guess it's almost summer though. But yeah, we get this cool little opening. This is Nuvema Town, the starting town in the Unova region, a pretty small area. And Professor Juniper just dropped something off at our house. And it is this little present that is on the desk. So me and Charon are already here, but of course Bianca's late. Bianca's kind of like the freaking goofy one of the group. You will eventually kind of figure out what their personalities are like and stuff. But yeah, we got a gift from Professor Juniper, and considering she's the professor, I'm sure you guys know what it is. It is going to be the starter Pokemon, and because it's my house, then we get to pick first. So yeah, my house, my rules, baby. But we have opened the gift box, and there's a little note here from Juniper. I brought 3 Pokemon, one for you and one for each of your friends. Please settle your choices politely. No, let's have a full-out brawl to see who gets the starters. Alright, so here we go. Starters in Generation 5, you got Tepig, the fire type, Oshawott, the water type, and Snivy, the grass type. Now, Tepig is the only one that evolves into a dual typing. He'll become part fighting. The other two just stay water and grass. Now, the most popular one by far, at least from what I've seen, is Oshawott. Samurot's really cool, obviously. Some people don't like Emboar that much just because it was like the third firefighting type in a row. And then Snivy, you know, the grass type starter. Some people just don't like Superior too much or anything. But you know what? I'm gonna be different. I really do like all three of these starters, by the way. But I'm not gonna go with Oshawott. I'm not going with Tepig. We're going with Snivy, baby. And believe it or not, this is the first time I'm using Snivy. That's the main reason why I wanted to choose Snivy. I know it sounds crazy because I've probably played Gen 5 multiple times, but I've always just chosen Tepig and Oshawott. And that includes like Black 2 and White 2 as well. So yeah, very first time that I'm using Snivy, at least from what I can remember, unless there was like some playthrough that I started up and then stopped. I just never remember like having a Superior on my team. So then Bianca and Sharon choose their starters, and right off the bat, we're going to get into some battles. So here we go. I really like the rival theme in this game. I think the music is great. But we're going to start with Bianca. We'll get to Sharon in a second. Now, Bianca will always choose the starter that is weak to the starter that you chose. So for me, she has Oshawott since we chose Snivy. So, you know, if you chose Tepig, she'll have Snivy. If you chose Oshawott, she'll have Tepig. And then Sharon will always have the one stronger against you. So because of that, Sharon's usually going to be the more difficult battles. I wouldn't really call either of the rivals like crazy hard or anything, but you'll always have the starter advantage against Bianca. Now, it looks like we're in a speed tie or something, which is not good. I don't want to lose these battles, but because you don't have like any potions or anything to start, you can very well lose these battles. But hey, we beat the Oshawott. But yeah, if you get critted, I mean, you could definitely lose these, but don't worry, you don't have to win these to move on. Now, unfortunately, we don't get to level 6 just yet. And then after the battle, looks like our Snivy and Oshawott just messed up my room completely. Look at that, dude. Trash cans knocked over. The freaking desk is now up by the computer. The rug is all messed up. There's footprints on the wall. I mean, all we were doing was going for tackle. I don't get it. So Sharon is going to completely heal both of our Pokemon, and now he will take us on in a battle because, you know, the room's already messed up. We might as well just do another battle while we're here. But yeah, just in case you're wondering, Oshawott and Tepig start out with Tackle and Tail Whip. Snivy has Tackle and Leer. So basically the same movesets for all three Pokemon. But as I said, Sharon will have the stronger starter against you. So for me, he's got Tepig. If you chose Oshawott, he'll have Snivy. If you chose Tepig, he'll have Oshawott. So here we go. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2 and get to level 6. It'd be nice if we could reach like level maybe 7 or 8 by the end of today's video because it's the first episode and I'm not too worried if this one goes on for a little longer, especially since there hasn't been a video for like over a week now. But I am still planning on keeping up the daily uploading streak that I've had with all of the other series. Albeit Pokemon Heart Gold, we had a couple of days that I missed in there. But yeah, it's almost summer, so I should have plenty of time in order to do that. And that's kind of crazy because that means by like, you know, mid-July, we'll probably be done with this series. Crazy how fast these things move when I upload daily. Anyways, we get to level 6, and Sharon's like, yeah, that's a Pokemon battle. It sure is, buddy. It sure is. Alright, so now they're going to head downstairs in order to apologize to our mom. Luckily, our mom is like the nicest person in this game. And I'm trying to open the menu here. There we go. If you guys have seen my other series, you know we sometimes have problems with like my S key working. So hopefully that doesn't become a problem too often. But yeah, I went ahead and changed the text speed to fast there just to make things a bit more quicker. And yeah, our mom, as I said, is like the nicest person ever. She doesn't care that our room's messed up. She's like, yeah, y'all go have fun. I'll clean it up. So anyways, Bianca and Sharon will head out, and then our mom will have a few more things to say to us before we say bye to her for like the final time, I'm pretty sure. I don't think you see her anywhere else. And she heals our Pokemon too. Now, unfortunately, even though we got to level 6, we did not get, like, Vine Whip or anything. And that's what kind of stinks for Snivy. I think Snivy gets stuck with, like, the weaker move of the three. Like, Tepig will get Ember, Oshawott will get Water Gun, and then Snivy gets Vine Whip. Alright, so we saw Bianca head south for a second. That's because her house is in the bottom left, and we actually need to go here first because her dad is like screaming at her. Her dad is really like overprotective and stuff and doesn't want her to go on this Pokemon journey. She thinks, or he thinks Pokemon are bad, but Bianca's like, oh, I'm sorry you had to hear that. Please excuse me. And if you actually talk to her mom's like a bit more chill about it. Eventually, Bianca will be able to go on this Pokemon journey and stuff. For now, let's head up to the Pokemon lab because that's right. It's literally Bianca's house, my house, Charon's house, and then the Pokemon lab in Nuvema Town. There's really not too much happening. So, here we are, and this is Professor Juniper chilling in the lab here. And she is going to have Pokedexes for us, of course. Like most professors, she'll give you the Pokedex. And also, she's going to ask if we want to give a nickname to our Pokemon. Now, I haven't really thought about what I should nickname Snivy, so I think I'm going to do a quick cut just so I'm not sitting here for like 5 minutes. Alright, I have decided on a name after about like 30 seconds or so. Now, this one doesn't really make too much sense because Snivy is definitely not a fox or anything, but like Snivy and Swiper, you know, they both start with S, and like I could see them both being like really sly and like secretive or something, just how Swiper is in Dora the Explorer. Yeah, that's right. We're calling this baby Swiper. Swiper, no swiping. Alright, so, yep, now she's going to hand us the Pokedex. Also, the item we got earlier from our mom that you saw a second ago is the Cross Transceiver or X Transceiver, whatever you want to call it. Also, just answer yes to that question or you're never going to be able to move on. But yeah, that will sort of be like your phone in this game. Like you can, you know, call and FaceTime other people throughout the game, and really they'll be calling you. You won't be calling them. But we got the Pokedex, and now Professor Juniper wants us to follow her out to Route 1, which is located just above Nuvema Town. And hey, here's our mom. So I guess I was wrong about earlier. You will be seeing her, well, maybe right here, I guess, but this might be the last time. And she'll give us the town map so we can get a good look at the Unova region. It's kind of interesting. The Unova region is like a perfect, not circle, but like kind of a perfect oval or like diamond that's on its side. Because, I mean, you'll see what I mean when I pull up the town map. I hope it appears on the top screen, though. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know, everything's, like, evenly spaced out. So, Bianca and Charon are off to Route 1. Real quickly, let me see if I can pull this thing up. I just want to show you guys what the Unova region looks like. So, it is on the bottom screen, so I think if I just, boom, there we go, flip that screen without having to, like, do too much editing. Yeah, you can see that, you know, you start out in the bottom right, but once you get up here to, like, Nimbasa City, I mean, look at that. It's just, like, symmetrical on both sides, even with the bridges, too. So, I find that really funny. Alright, so let's move on to Route 1 and learn how to catch a Pokemon. Even though this is the 7th walkthrough, we don't need to learn how to catch a freaking Pokemon. Are you kidding me? But, no. Professor Juniper thinks we still suck, and we gotta learn. Also, Charon and Bianca wanted to, like, take the first step together into Route 1. I guess this marks the very beginning into our adventure and whatnot. But it is time for, you know, that time in a Pokemon game where you have to go through the catching tutorial. So she's going to run into a Patrat, one of the 2 Pokemon you can find on this route. You can find a Patrat and Lillipup, both normal types. So Lillipup, probably the better option. But, you know, Patrat and Watchog, they're not too bad. I've actually used a Watchog before. And yeah, she's got a Minccino here, so all you're going to want to do is just lower its HP, throw a Pokeball, and for these earlier route mons, that is probably going to be enough to catch them in like 1 or 2 balls. Now, one nitpick that I have with Pokemon Black and White is the variety of Pokemon before the first gym. After the first gym, it's fine, but before the first gym, the Pokemon you have access to are your starter, Lillipup, Patrat, Purloin on the next route, and then the Elemental Monkey, and that's it. That's only 5 Pokemon before the first gym. So, believe it or not, if you're wondering, like, you know, when I'm going to start adding Pokemon to my team, it's not going to be until after the first gym, just because there's not too much to get before the first gym. I was thinking about using Lillipup, but I eventually decided against it. There's so many other mods that I want to use, but none of them are available before the first gym because it's just so limited for some reason. I don't get it. But, yeah, I guess for the first gym, I will have another Mon to sort of help me out, but it's not going to be an official team member. You guys will see what I mean when we get there, though. But it's time to head through this grass. Now, right down here will take you to, I forget the route numbers, but those are some surfing routes we'll check out later on in the game. And then over here, if you talk to this person, you can get a free potion, which could come in handy in just a few minutes, and you'll see why. Now, I want to try and battle at least one Pokemon just to get up to level 7 before we head into Accumula Town, which is the next town in the Unova region. And then Chair and Bianca, they're like holding our hands through this route, making sure that we get through and stuff. They're waiting for us up ahead, but you gotta wait for my boy Snivy here to take down this Lillipup. Yeah, so here's the other Mon you can get. Lillipup, unlike Patra, evolves twice, so that's probably a big reason why, you know, you may have an easier time using Herdier and Stoutland, because I think their stats are going to be a little bit better, and we did not get up a level. I really want to try and get Vine Whip. I think Vine Whip is level 7. If it's not, it's okay, but it's usually like level 6, 7, or 8 when those starters get their moves. Alright, so here we go, another Patra at level 2. This should do the trick, and then we'll move on to Accumula Town, which, by the way, has some great music. I would say out of any Pokemon game, Gen 5 has the best soundtrack. That's something it does have over, like, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, even though those games are still my favorite. But there we go, we got Vine Whip, so let's move on along. We don't have to talk to Charon. Instead, Bianca's going to talk with us, and she's going to ask how many Pokemon we caught. And she's like, oh, you only got Snivy? It's going to get lonely. Well, the funny thing is, also, first off, here's the cross transceiver ringing. And it's going to be Professor Juniper just saying she is at the Pokemon Center. She's going to show off how all of that stuff works, like the Pokemart and the PC, because this was the first game where the Pokemart is actually in the Pokemon Center, which is pretty convenient. So yeah, that is where you want to go first once you reach Accumula Town. But as I was saying, the funny thing is, Bianca, I think she catches like a Lillipup, but Charon doesn't catch any Pokemon either, so I don't know why she's getting all mad at me. I mean, just give it some time. I'll eventually have a full team of 6, Bianca. Calm down. But yeah, we are going to go ahead and heal up with Nurse Joy right here. And as you can see in the bottom right, there's the Pokemart. It's just that blue desk. So yeah, first time that the Pokemart is not a separate building. And ever since then, I think it's been that way, right? I mean, unless you count like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Anyways, here's the PC. You can store Pokemon. If you have 6 Pokemon in your party, Pokemon will automatically go there after you catch them. And also, they're talking about how it's titled Someone's PC. And then here is the Pokemart. Now, I think I'll go ahead and buy a couple of items. I might as well. Usually, I like to get, you know, a couple of Pokeballs, some potions, even though I'm not catching my next team member for a little bit. But that is fine. So, let me go ahead and let's see. We'll get 4 more potions since we already got that one earlier. And then, well, we already have 5 Pokeballs. I can get 5 more, though. And as we head out of the Pokemon Center, something interesting is going to be happening. So these 2 guys are going to be like, hey, something's going on in the middle of town. So they go to check it out. Of course, we're going to check out. And then we realize it's a whole big, like, freaking gathering here, and Charon's here as well. Now, I'm sure you guys know, this is Team Plasma, the evil team in this game. One of the better evil teams, in my opinion, just in terms of, like, the story and stuff. And, yeah, this is Getsis, their leader, and they've got, like, these flags out here. He's going on about some big speech. Their whole goal is to liberate Pokemon. Spoiler alert if you don't know the story. Their goal really isn't to liberate Pokemon. He just wants to make everyone else not have Pokemon, and then he can rule the region or something. I don't know. I don't remember it all exactly, but they are going to walk off after giving their pointless speech, but there's arguably a more important character standing in this crowd that we'll get to in a second, as everyone is kind of confused, and they're just going to walk away. But this guy in the green hair sticks around. He's got the hat on, too, and his name is N. Now, N is a very interesting guy. Throughout the story, you'll learn a lot more about him. I'm sure you guys know what his whole ordeal is, but if you don't, I won't spoil it just yet. Maybe at another point, but the bigger thing is that he's going to challenge us to a battle. So yeah, it's a good thing that you healed up at the Pokemon Center. And N has a level 7 Purloin. This is the mon that you can find on the next route. And because we're level 7 and we've got that stab of Vine Whip, I think we should be okay. Purloin only knows Scratch and Growl. Now, N honestly could be more like a true rival in this game, so technically I guess you have 3 rivals just because he doesn't fight you as often, but he is arguably a bit more difficult depending on, you know, how your team is looking, and he's also not like a friend of yours. He's not like completely mean or anything, kind of like the Gen 2 rival, but he's not like Bianca saying, oh wow, you did great in that battle. So yeah, he's kind of in the middle, but as long as we don't get crit here or anything, we should be good. There you go. So Swiper is looking good so far. Snivy's definitely the least popular out of the 3, but I want to show that it can be just as good as the other 2 starters. So we get to level 8 and down goes N. So he's kind of weird because he said he can hear our Pokemon talking and stuff. That's really going to confuse Charon and whatnot. But yeah, he's going to talk about the next city, Striaton City, which is located north of here, and that's where the first gym is located. But before we get going off on that way, I want to show off 2 more things here in Accumula Town. Also, I wish we had running shoes, but unfortunately, we don't get those until, until we head into the next route. So this is a cool feature in the Gen 5 games. Some people in the towns will be like playing music, like this guy's playing the drums, and if you say yes, then their drums and this girl's piano will be added to the soundtrack. So if you listen closely right now, I'm trying to give you some time for you guys to listen to it, but you can probably tell that the sounds a little bit different, and it's a pretty cool feature. And it's not in like every single city, but in some of them you can do that. And the last thing I want to do is come into this house, and I'm pretty sure we can talk to, I think it's going to be a guy upstairs, and he'll give us a free Pokeball. Yeah, this guy running around with the Patrat. He already caught a Pokemon, so he doesn't need this one anymore. And that will just about wrap it up for episode 1 of the Pokemon White series. I'm happy to be back. Again, I'm going to try my best to, you know, keep uploading daily. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Look out for part 2 tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces.